Welcome to Project Likkutei Torah. We're holding Daf 27. The first column. We're holding the second Maimer of Kadkod, which is explanation of the Alter Rebbe on the first Maimer. Says the Alter Rebbe, based on the explanation I gave yesterday, on the Eid and the Keli is like the Gufen and the Neshama. Now we'll understand how the Neshama gets an Aliyah after coming in a Guf. Say the Neshama is from Pnimis Hakeh. Where they're the Pnimis and the 10 spheres that Tzilis. And the 10 spheres that Tzilis are only like a Guf for the Neshama. The Neshama is there, it's like what shines in them. And then it's called Tehera first, and the Neshama is called Tehera in Atzilus. Then we say in Birchas HaShachar, Ato Baros, Ato Yitzarto, it came down in Biyah. And this Yerida, to come down in Baros Yitzarto, Nafachto, is Tzerech Aliyah. Why? Because we say the Neshama before it was created, it was an Atzilus, was Tehera. But when it does mitzvah el mahaza, we say before we do a mitzvah shekadishana mitzvah, we come to Kodesh, which is higher by Torah, like it says. That Torah says by the Leviim and Kodesh is by the Kehanim. Because it says both of the chiluk from Torah. What's the difference between Torah and Kodesh? Torah is the lower level and Kodesh is the higher level. Because Torah comes from the Loshen Ki Etzem Hashomayim Lotehai. Clearness of the day, it's clear. It's clear, and that's Kelim Datzilis. Kodesh is not clear, that doesn't have Yeshus. Kodesh is Pshat separated. You can't even say clear. It's connected with the Eiri Sofer, the Eibishter, the less Pashavat Tisabay, and Lav Mikol Elimidis Klal. And to graduate from the level of Kodesh to the level, from the level of Toher to the level of Kodesh, is to Tshuva Ma'aseh David. And thus the Tshuva, that the Heilah goes to Yud. Just like by Neshama, there's Nefesh, Ruach, Neshama, Chaya, and Yechida. Nefesh, Ruach, and Neshama is the Eiris that come in Keli. Chaya, Yechida is Makifim. Tshuva is Yechida. Same thing by the Rebishter. The Kelim of the Esesphiris. And in the Esesphiris, there's the Pnimi, Emtsoy, and Chitzon. The inner part of the Kelim going to Bria, the middle part of the Kelim going to Yetzirah, the outer part of the Kelim going to Yetzirah. And they're called Nadan, and that's Kei Vovkei, the 3 letters of Shem Havaya. Then there's the Yud and the Ketzishul Yud, they're higher light. Doesn't come into Akeli Bichlal. Just like by a person, what's Nizgale, by him in his mind is Gilui HaSeichel. No, sorry, Keach HaSeichel can't. You only have a Gilui HaSeichel. Chochmi Lo Yechide are only hovering. Purpose. They're not Nizgale in him. So when a person does tshuva and he's megala his yichide, he comes, the Heilah goes to the Yud, the Kelim get the Eiris Makifim of Seviv Kol Almin. It comes in a level of Malik Kol Almin. Makifim come through tshuva. This is Aliyas and Neshomes, because Lachatchila they're only in Kelim, all over Mashov Pnimis HaKelim. And even though it's explained that the Neshama has Naran Chai, but even Naran Chai, it's all Kelim. You don't have the real Chai Yechid. The real Chai Yechid only comes to Tshuva Ma'aseh David. That's Kodesh. There's a famous story of a bocher that came to Timchit Mimim, and the Rebbe Rashab told his son, the Frierdiker Rebbe, that he's a He's an amazing diamond. He has amazing chushim. But it's grub, it's coarse. It needs to be elevated. So they made him set up the whole seder, and he worked very hard. Then he had to be the next day. He had to come very early to Chazar the Maimer Balpeh. And he worked very hard. And the Rebbe Rashab told his son, look at him. His neshama, his yichida is shining. Very similar to this Maimer. Says further in the Maimer, so it's understood from the Reb Chaim Vital and Shari Kedusha that the source of the neshama has nefesh, ruach, neshama, chay, yichida, but they're all connected as a garment to the Esesphiris. So it's understood that it's chay. There's a nitzutz kotel. What's yichida? There's a small spark that's godliness, and this godliness comes into the spark of the creature, which is called yichida. So they're only a small spark. Small spark. You're talking about the vessels. Look also in the says that Tzemach Tzedek. Look in the letter, the Alter Rebbe, the famous letter he wrote before he passed away, that the neshama of a person comes from the kelim. In them is the kav. Even though they are from Pnimis HaKelim, they don't have the Gilui HaKav of Ein Sof. Shenkin in the kelim, the kav does shine in them, but they come just from the kelim. So this, after this whole explanation, we understand what it means. You need to tzedek aliyah. Why the neshama came down lamata? Because they become connected with the essence of Hashem. Just like the kelim connect with the air, which is kav of Ein Sof. They become like the kelim. They connect with the area of Ein Sof. They don't just have the kelim. And also more, they get the Eres Makifim. They even kelim that sinners don't have. And this is true now. Elsewhere it's explained. It says, Iu v'chayei echad, Iu v'gamei echad. Eliyahu Hanavi said, in Parshas Eliyahu, which we say every Friday, you should know that Parshas Eliyahu says the whole secret of the Sfiris, how they're created. He says that Hashem Echayei, which is the Eres Echad, and Iu v'gamei echad. So there's an explanation, there's a question. Why don't you just say short? Iu v'chayei v'gamei echad. Why a separate chad for chayoi, which is the light, and a special chad for gamoi, which is the kelim? So he says, because the chad of chayoi is greater than the chad of gamoi. The chad of chayoi will shine in the lower level. That's why it won't be yud ke vav ke. It'll be yud ke. And also in the lower level will shine the higher level of Iu v'chayei echad. Also we need the tshuva law, mitzvahs, bring down godliness in the kelim, which would track gufa l'gabe nishmas. That the Eres Sof should shine in the kelim through mitzvahs. Through them, you bring down the light of makif in this level. To tzitzis in one level, to tefillin in another level, they bring down godliness, the level of kodesh. Now, we're saying like this. The whole elevation of the neshama is to be elevated from tahor, which it says every morning, tehirohi, to kodesh. Who does it? Mitzvahs. Why is a box of leather on my hand or a piece of matzah in my mouth have the keach to elevate my neshama from tahor to kodesh to get pnimis hakelim and pnimis ha'ed and the makif, the air that surrounds us? Why is that so strong? So he says, because mitzvahs are physical. And high levels don't come down only through lowest levels, like relations from a man and a wife. It's a physical relationship. From them, the highest neshama comes down. And this is what Avraham Avinu said in Sefer Yitzchak. No, it's tchilosom b'seifon, because the main gilui is b'seifon. but higher you don't have the Gilun. Because the aim is to create the word Yesh Mi'ayin. And from there on further, it's all Yesh Mi'yesh. Yesh Mi'ayin is only revealed in our physical world, physical earth. You put in a seed, it rots, and it becomes a beautiful tree. Why is this keach of Yesh Mi'ayin is gale? Everything else is no more Yesh Mi'ayin. Midrash Seichel, Yesh Mi'yesh. You think about something, then you fear it or you love it. It's not this tremendous Yesh Mi'ayin, or by a man and a wife, it's also Yesh Mi'ayin. Because the Oretz is the lowest of the four foundations of the world: fire, wind, water. So in it, as the highest keich to make Yesh Mi'ayin trees, and make trees forever, continuing to make. So we see that the lower you are, you have a very high keich. So that's why the physical mitzvahs have the keich to do this, to make you kodesh, the higher level, like in the beginning of the creation. And even though they come down in physical matters, it's like bread that gives life to a person. Even though that bread is on a lower level, it has koyach to make a person feel alive. Same like the mitzvahs makes you to get a higher level of godliness, higher than the kelim. A yid does a mitzvah. A yid is suprimis kelim, like it says in the Miyovel. So when they do erev chayim mitzvahs, they cause there should be ein sof in the kelim of atzilus, which are their source. Says the Alter Rebbe, with this we'll understand what is precious stones. A stone is a diamond. Why are they shining? Why do they have this keich to shine? So he says you should know what creates the precious stone is the stars. Not from the stars that we could see when we look up at night, even when we go camping. And it's clear, we see 1,000 or more stars. What creates the stars? The precious stones are the stars that we don't see. These stars don't have a number. You go to a planetarium with the kids in campus here, and they dim and dim and dim the lights, and you see billions and billions of stars. But what do? We can't see them. We can't see them with the naked eye. Who sees them? The stones, the Maisha Mitzvahs, the stones, because they are diamond, the lowest level. They can receive a light from those stones from those stars that we can't see. They have no number. They're higher than the stars that we do see. And based on the amount of stars, that's how there's the different colors of stones and the different shapes. There's very many different colors, even in a white stone. There's very, very white and white that is not so white. And they have many thousands, numerous of levels. But in general, there are 12. 12 families, like the Shvatim. It would be interesting to talk to someone who deals with precious stones and see if they know this fact that there's 12 families. It says that Tzemach Tzedek, Shevet, comes from the word Amshoche. Like it says, Kichova, the Shovet, a flying star. It's a Keich of Animsha, because the Oves are Chesed, where Tiferes Shvatim come. They're 12. Like we learned in Likkutei Torah, there's the Yud Beis, Gvulei Alachse, that are created from Avraham, Yitzchak, and Yaakov, which are Chesed, where Tiferes. No. Everything that's physical has 6 dimensions: up, down, and west, south, north, and east. Halachsoin connects these 6 one with another. They should be iskalalus to make the highest level with the lowest level of the other one, or the highest level of the other one with the lowest level of the other one, like we had in the previous Miyovel, the highest level of east with the lowest level of west. This is the Vov. Comes in the middle of the letter Aleph. You have Alachsin on a slant. The left of the Aleph comes down on a slant to the right of the Aleph. And the left is higher and the right is lower. So the left is Gvura and the right is Netzach. And this connects Gvura and Netzach. So that's where the Kav of Gvura comes to Netzach, which Netzach is the lower level of Chesed. You know, Chochmah, Chesed, Netzach. So the highest level of Gvura comes down to Netzach, which is the lowest level in the right. And so, says the Alter Rebbe, there's many levels of Iskalalus. The Midas should be connected. Should have Chesed alone and Gvura alone. It won't work. Chesed without Gvura, Gvura without Chesed doesn't work. We see it, you know, in the physical world. You have people that are very organized, very strict. That alone breaks people. It builds. It's wonderful. But if you have Chesed alone, also doesn't do anything because it doesn't create. You need Dafke the Hismazgus, the connection of both. Says the Alter Rebbe Chesed, it should be Gvura. He gives kindness but it's Gvura. Like it says, a pasuk of Aschan, and Hashem gives tremendous kindness to his enemies in this world, so they shouldn't get the Elam Haba. So that's kindness. They have millions of dollars, but it's Gvura. Gvura Shebech Chesed is like a father that loves a child, and he tells him, do this, it's miyasrei b'shevet. But someone else he doesn't care about, he doesn't force him to do the right thing. Because once a father told a child, look at the grass, there's beautiful grass that worked on, and there's weeds. I'm working hard with you because I want you to grow well. I don't want you to be a weed. So that's Gvura, but it's because of the greatest Chesed. It's many different levels, and in general, they're called the Yud Beis Gvulei Alachs and the 12 slanted borders. And this is the 12 stones that they were. There's white and red, there's Rachamim and Gvura are connected. And the word Even is Aleph, Ban is Behema, but there's an Aleph, which is connected with the Shem Ma, because Ma is connected, that the Hey has an Aleph. What does Even mean? It's the Bir Nefesh Habam, it's the Nefesh Lekitz Shem Ma that comes in the Nefesh Habam. This creates an amazing, beautiful, precious diamond and stone, like Ban going up in Sag, which is higher than Ma. This is why these precious stones get their light from the stars, which is the Shadish and Eveshalikis, like it says about the Neshama Dorach of Miyakim, and like Hashem told Avraham Avinu, just like you cannot count the stars, you cannot count your kids, because the Yidden's Shadish and Neshama are the stars. Now, the stars that we see are only 1,000 or more. The stars that Avraham saw were infinite, because the Shadish of Ayidis from those stars. These 12 stones were in the heart of Adin. Adin is King Godel, Kodesh. V'loi tohen, Kodesh is B'kianim and Torah is B'levim. Adin was a Kain, he was Kodesh, he elevated the Levim to Tohen. So he carried the 2 rocks on himself. Lifnei Havaya, they should become higher. Says the Alter Rebbe that these 12 stones and these 12 different shapes are in general 12 levels. One is slanted to the right, which is Chesed, and one is slanted to the left. But in general, there are 2 stones, 2 types of stones. There are a stone, Yosher, clear light. In the darkness, it could make light. But there is a stone, it's not quiet light. it bleaches it shines it on and off. It's Echeze, burning light. The normal stone is Tzaddik Eli and Yosef. The other stone is Tzaddik Binyamin. It burns. Binyamin is Echeze, tremendous yearning to be with Hashem. Velishech Chukoseh, he desired to be in Atzilis. Like it says, the lower waters cry, we want to be with God. It's a tremendous desire and burning fire to be with Hashem, to do tshuva. The tzaddik shines, normal diamond. This is what it says by Binyamin when he was born. Our mother, Rachel, had a very hard time when he was born. Because Rachel is Malchus. And believed it when she was born, Binyamin should come into Biyah. It was Makshalele. It was hard for her to have a child. It was hard for Binyamin to come to Biyah. Because it's the opposite of his Teva Neshama, that he should be a Merkova, Echeze, to become connected to Hashem. He doesn't want to be down here. He's a tremendous desire. That's why it was a difficult labor. Yes, if a tzaddik comes down, to give in Biyah, he has no problem with it. He wants to give. He supported his brothers and his father. Says the Rambam that there's 12 stones of the Chesed, where according to their birth, like the Rambam says in Klei Hamikdash, so Sheyam was for Yosef. Sheyam is a stone that shines, and Yoshpe is a stone that shines with zest. I'm not sure exactly how to say the word in English. Yoshpe. It shines. And this is the idea of the Yoshpe. Yeshpe. Malchus is pen. It's elevated at the level of yes, to the source of everything, to the source of the pen. And he says here, Yesh pe v'sheitik. Someone has a mouth and he's quiet because a chacham doesn't talk before someone who's greater than him. Dosip shat yesh pe, yosh pe. He's quiet. He has a bittul to someone who's greater than him. This is the bittul of Yoshpe. Yosef is a mashpia. He's tremendous bittul. And he's fighting and trying to be connected to high. Says the Alter Rebbe, amazing. This is the machlekes of Malach Michoel and Malach Avriel. Malach Michoel, which is Sarah Chesed, ministering angel of kindness, says Sheyam, and Gabriel says Yosh. Because there's two levels, Shimshish Saich, two windows. There's one window where it comes down Lamato like Yosef. And there's one window where Biyah goes higher. This is said, Visalachti b'seichem. Pasuk says, I'll go with you. These guys of saving Memale, that's Memale. And then there's Memale going higher, that's Memata Memale. This is what's going on over here. He also brings it from the Zehar. Binyamin knew about the selling of Yosef, and he didn't say Yesh Pei V'Sheitek. Fascinating. And it's like he said in the previous moment, when there is someone stands higher and someone's on the lower in the valley and they want to connect, or the person on the top goes down low, or the person on the bottom goes down high. So Michoel Sarah Chesed, he says, Shoya, go down. Gabriel says, go up. Have this tremendous desire. Says it's Tzemach Tzedek, something amazing. And in the Gemara, in Baba Basra over there, says not only Michael and Gabriel argue for Shem or Yoshpei, but Yehuda and Chizkiah, the children of Rabbi Chia, also argue about it. So it says the Tzemach Tzedek. It says in another Gemara in Bab Metzia that Rabbi Chia Bonov like Avraham Mitzvah Yaakov. That's why it says in the Gemara in Meit Cotton that Yehuda is on the right of his father and Chizkiah is on the left of his father. And it says in Chemdes Tzvi and Tikkun Isaiah that Rabbi Chia is Yaakov. And that's why it says someone saw Rabbi Chia and he saw his chair is going up higher and higher by itself. Because Yaakov is Tiferes, it goes to Kesser. And that's why it says Yaakov is higher than Malachim. He doesn't need Malachim. So Yaakov is Tiferes. And his kids are Chesed and Gvura. Yehuda Chesed and Chizkiah Gvura. And that's why he's called Chia, says the Tzemach Tzedek. Because his Yaakov never died, he's always alive. Yehuda on the right is Avraham, Chizkiah on the left is Yitzchak. So that's why it's very interesting that Yehuda and Chizkiah argue in the same argument. Yehuda is on the right, is Chesed, says Shoya. Chizkiah on the left says Yoshpei because he's Buddha. Says the Tzemach Tzedek. According to the Girsei Medrash, Michael says Sheyam and Gabriel says Yoshpei. But you look in the Gemara in Baba Basra, it's mashma that Gabriel said Sheyam. Because normally when the Gemara brings, two people say something. Chad Omer this and Chad Omer that. Chad Omer is the first guy. So you say that Gabriel and Michael argue, not Michael and Gabriel. And Chad Omer Sheyam. So Gabriel said Sheyam. Says the Tzemach Tzedek, an amazing pshat. It says in Torah, the Eile Teil is Yitzchak. By Avraham, it says Avraham loved Yitzchak. Because you love the opposite. When someone is very hot, he loves cold water. Mayim karim al nefesh hayefa. Cold water is on a thirsting soul. Someone who's very cold loves hot water. So Avraham loved Yitzchak. He loved the opposite. So Gabriel said Sheyam. And Michael said Yoshpei, because Gabriel loves the opposite. But says the Tzemach Tzedek, it's more mashma like the first pirush, that Michael said Sheyam and Gabriel said Yoshpei. Because these are two levels of the Aliyah. And God said that they're both, and we'll learn about that tomorrow. Yeshua.